The Sikorsky R-4 saw combat in the jungles of Burma, bringing in supplies and evacuating wounded troops. It wasn't until the Korean War in 1950 that there were enough helicopters to have much effect. In the Korean War, the main role of the helicopter was the evacuation of wounded troops back to MASH hospitals. The French War in Algeria in the 1950s saw the first extensive use of armed helicopters. It was the Vietnam War which proved the value of vertical mobility. The French experiments paved the way for American helicopter operations in Vietnam. The Vietnam War became a helicopter war. Much of Vietnam was covered by rugged mountains, rice paddies, and thick foliage. Roads were few and well suited for ambush. Helicopters could avoid the limits of terrain and enemy actions simply by flying over it. The workhorse of this war was the Bell UH-1, better known as the Huey. The Huey was used in all sorts of roles. It was mainly a troop carrier, but could also be used to evacuate wounded troops. An armed gunship version, nicknamed the Hog, was the forerunner of today's attack helicopters. The Huey also served as the basis for the AH-1 Cobra, the world's first attack helicopter. Helicopters have revolutionized naval warfare. Helicopters can turn a small warship into a mini aircraft carrier. They can scout ahead of the warship, giving it eyes 100 miles away. Larger helicopters are capable of carrying sophisticated anti-ship missiles. These missiles give the helicopter considerable punch. One of the main roles for shipboard helicopters is anti-submarine defense. Helicopters are ideally suited for this task since they can hover and drop sensors into the water. There are three methods for a helicopter to detect submarines. They can tow a magnetic anomaly detector behind them, which picks up slight magnetic disturbances caused by the submarine's steel hull. This gives the helicopter a very rough idea of where a submarine might be located. For a more precise location, the helicopter can lower a dipping sonar into the water. This sonar listens for sounds of the submarine, or can use an active sonar mode if the submarine is silent. The helicopter can also drop sonar buoys into the water. These work like a dipping sonar, but use a radio link to the helicopter instead of a cable. Once the submarine is detected, it can be attacked with a homing torpedo. Helicopters are so effective in this role because they can detect and attack submarines long before the submarine gets close enough to attack a surface warship. Helicopters are useful in a host of other tasks. They can be used to rescue downed air crews from the ocean. They can carry supplies from shore to ship. What is remarkable about modern helicopters is that they can carry out such missions even in very poor weather. This is made possible by an ingenious winch system. In bad weather, with the ship tossed about by the waves, the helicopter lowers a cable from its belly to the deck crew. This is attached to a special winch, which pulls the helicopter aboard with great precision, in spite of the waves. The most specialized uses for naval helicopters is mine sweeping. Large anti-mine helicopters like the Sea Stallion can tow special sleds behind them which cut the cables of tethered mines or detonate them with special acoustic or electromagnetic devices. Helicopters are also widely used by Marine forces, much as their Army counterparts. Marine amphibious assaults used small boats during World War II. Now helicopters can put the Marines ashore much more safely and with a greater element of surprise.